You missed some important news from the LGBTQ plus community this week. To ensure you are current, we are recapping that important news. Here's what you may have missed.
Homosexuality is punishable by death in Saudi Arabia, but their tourist website says LGBTQ plus are welcome. Saudi Arabia, where homosexuality is punishable by death, now claims to welcome LGBTQ plus visitors, despite the country's horrific track record on LGBTQ plus rights and treatment of queer residents. The kingdom's tourist website, visitsaudi.com, has updated its official advice for LGBTQ plus travelers. The website's help section now asks, quote, "Are LGBT visitors welcome in Saudi Arabia?" End quote. The response reads, quote, "We don't ask anyone to disclose personal details and never have. Everyone is welcome to visit our country," end quote. Journalist Wajeeh Lion, an openly gay Saudi who has asylum in the United States, tweeted, quote, "It's very sad to see a country criminalize the LGBT community and welcome them at the same time. Welcoming international visitors who are LGBTQ plus is at odds with the kingdom's stance on LGBTQ plus rights for its residents, which are relatively non-existent. Saudi Arabia remains one of the few countries where homosexuality is punishable by the death penalty. In the kingdom, Sharia law also forbids cross-dressing. There are no anti-discrimination protections for queer people, and LGBTQ plus personnel are banned from serving openly in the military. LGBTQ plus activists and public figures have faced persecution, including lashings and imprisonment, for offering public morality by being LGBTQ plus publicly, such as in TikTok videos. Wow. Okay, so TikTok is coming up again, but this is the thing, all right? I wouldn't be traveling to Saudi Arabia right now and being holding my wife's hand or being openly gay. What they're asking you to do is, it's not just that they're saying, oh yeah, you're welcome, and we don't ask you what your sexuality is. They're telling you to hide yourself. Right. They're saying as long as, let's say it in the right terms, they're saying as long as you're not showing us you're gay, then sure, we'll accept you as long as we don't know. But they're not telling you, oh, and don't worry about it, that you're punishable by death. You know, what I would just hope is that Americans take heed, take caution, and recognize that this could be another Brittany Griner, but with a worse penalty.
But I think a lot of this is due to international pressures, because of politics, the UN, and also just a financial, you know, come visit us, we want your money. But I think a lot of the reasons why this has come up is because the UN has made a very strong effort to try and play a role for LGBTQ plus communities on an international scale. I mean, they're trying to be involved in what is it, the Sudan, where they're having issues right now, but they're also, I know that they for the longest time politically have chastised Saudi Arabia for this position. And I think this is just bullshit that they said, well, it's on our website. So as long as you don't touch your partner and we don't catch you in bed together, sure, come on over.
I mean, look, it's clearly because, you know, if we look at who's contributing to the tourism industry, disproportionately, it's queer people.
$2 to every $1.
Exactly, right? So obviously they're going to want some of that sweet, sweet gay money because it's coming into their country.
It tastes
but the reality is, I mean, it does. So we see this on not national scales too, right? We see this on a company-wide scale where we have companies that show up at Pride and are like, we love gay people, and then are actively funding anti-LGBT politicians. Right? We see that all the time, and it's not enough to make a cute little Pride Month campaign and sell cute little rainbow merchandise and then go and donate to Ron DeSantis, right? That doesn't cut it, right?
Well, say Chick-fil-A will take your money too, right?
And I'm not going to give it to them.
No, I mean, but that's the thing, right? And so now it's like for us on our community, LGBTQ plus, we got to get smarter about where we're putting our dollars. We have to do our due diligence. And I was having a conversation the other day about cancel culture, right? And I'm like, listen, we're not talking, you know, I'm not so down with this whole cancel culture, but I'm also down for consciously placing my dollar where it belongs. So I don't know if it's canceling anyone out or rather being smart about where I I invest my hard-earned dollars.
Well,
You know, one last thought. When you do a headline at Queer News Tonight that says a country that has the death penalty invites queer people to come and visit their country, we are congratulating ourselves because we've done the first ever story and conversation a la The Onion. This is not a real... It is a real story.
No, it's a real one.
It is a real story. I wish I could say this was an episode of The Onion, but it is not. It's beyond ridiculous. I've been to Saudi Arabia twice, and I think we completely get it right. Don't be you, and you're welcome in the kingdom. That's really the bottom line.
Yeah.
I do not think boycotts work in travel. And so I don't take it to the extreme that Saudi Arabia should be boycotted. Uganda, Nigeria, two other flagrant examples of horrendous legal and physical consequence of being homosexual if you're caught being homosexual. But I wouldn't go there.
Conservative moment around the world.
I agree with you. The UN is very involved, but still, I would not recommend a visit to Saudi Arabia. I do provide a caveat. Sharia law is not interpreted the exact same way everywhere, and so I caution us to have a broad swipe of saying Muslim nations. All Muslim nations are not the same. Egypt is a very conservative country, but easily LGBT can visit Egypt. Turkey is a politically conservative Muslim country. There is no issue. Atlantis Cruises will dock a ship in Turkey, which they did last summer. So they're not all the same, and I'm just cautioning us. Many Americans, we are not as educated about the world as I think we should be. So when you see this story of Saudi Arabia, this is not everywhere, and every place is not the same.
But one point is that the first thing anyone should be doing traveling overseas is check with the United States consulate, because there's a list of countries that are there are warnings for serious reasons. So we need to do our due diligence.
Keep watching the only television news in the world from our LGBTQ+ community and stay informed on everything that is important for and about our diverse LGBTQ+ community.